For as long as I can remember, I've had struggles, maybe mental challenges or mental health. I can't ever think of anything that was helpful to me. Yes, there were some immediate fixes. And you know, bless my parents, they were great parents, but it's hard being a parent of a child who's struggling and you have no idea what to do. Throughout my adult life, I have always kind of looked back into my teenage years as an opportunity, I guess, but maybe not in the best way. And so every year since my 17th birthday, I have wanted to self-harm or die by suicide. I woke up every day saying the same things. I hate you. I wish I would die, and many iterations of that. And that was my mantra, so to speak. And I just sat in that pain, and I kind of compared it to being in a dark room and being stuck, and you know, no doors. I can't see or feel anything. I can't feel any walls, no windows, and it just felt like as the years went on. And the more years I put between, you know, that 17th birthday and however old I turned, that room would get heavier and heavier and heavier. And I didn't know what to do. Sadly, sometimes you try things that aren't exactly as helpful and are actually destructive and make the symptoms, the condition worse. And the sad thing is I couldn't. I was so, self-absorbed isn't the right word, but I literally only could focus on myself to just survive. And sometimes the opportunities that I may have missed, you know, weigh on me. And so with all this trying and struggling, I hit a point. I hit a point where life was too heavy. And, you know, this was a make or break kind of time. And I didn't know where to go. I started saying positive affirmations through a program called Mindsync. Gosh, it was weird, as in, it's one of the most normal things I've ever done, but it's weird telling yourself that you love yourself and trying to mean it. Going through Mindsync, there was a lot of like not pre-recorded, but like lists of affirmations that you could say. And just reading some of them, I'd almost laugh because that is not me. I don't believe that. But you know what, I tried, I kept going. Every day I'd just read them. And the crazy thing is when you listen to your voice, you just hate your own voice. I don't know if anyone else feels that, but I just hate listening to my own voice. And that's exactly what Mindsync is you're hearing yourself tell you some things. And the crazy thing is after, I'm not sure how long, but I don't think it was long, maybe a few days to a week or maybe 2 weeks, I started liking the sound of my voice. It was kind of weird. I started feeling some comfort hearing myself talk to myself. And I started reading those affirmations with a smile on my face. I started to believe those things. And despite all of the challenges that I was going through and, you know, still the things that I needed to work through, it's not like I stopped, you know, taking medication, or I stopped doing therapy, or stopped doing outpatient care, and, you know, all the things to continue to, you know, work on my, you know, health and mental health and some of the conditions. But gosh, it just made me more optimistic, gave me strength maybe gave me some resilience. And then as I kept going and going and going, I think my demeanor changed. I don't know, people around me tell me this. People around me say, hey, we see a difference in you, Jake. And I'm like, okay, well, I feel better. I definitely feel better. You know, once I've taken a moment to like really think and sit on that, I think I do really feel so great. I feel so much more optimistic. I feel confident. I feel like I walk differently. I feel like I can have my chin up most of the time. And then, as you know, as I talked about that like dark room. That dark room was so heavy, and with Mindsync, it almost felt like, if you can picture this dark room with no windows or doors, as if light flooded. So either windows were coming, doors were coming out, so I could actually get out of the room. Maybe that's the better. I was getting out of that room. I was leaving that space and moving on, and I could do things that I loved again. For years I loved learning how to play songs on musical instruments. So I play the saxophone and the piano. I loved to read, and I say loved, right? Because it had been years since I'd been able to focus on a book and really just dive into the world of that book. I loved taking pictures. I loved being outside. And so with Mindsync, doing it consistently, it was like old Jake came back and he was able to be old Jake again, but better. And thinking about those bad thoughts or those bad voices in your head, and maybe some don't realize and maybe some do. I'm someone who is very aware. I definitely have given voice to those and given a platform and maybe given them a microphone to really, make sure I hear all the negativity. And now, since doing Mindsync as consistently as I can, those voices are now telling me the truth. The truth of who I am, and I'm now believing that. I'm going to continue doing Mindsync as often as I can, and even during the day if I need something. And one thing that is so cool about Mindsync is that you don't have to do all the work of figuring out your own affirmations, but what I found after that little period of looking at all the ones that are already listed in there, you know what, I want to become a faster reader. I have always said the affirmation to everybody, I am a slow reader. I can't read books as fast. I have to read slow because I comprehend so slow, and I have to go slow. And for years I've said that, and that's an affirmation. And so now I've wanted to improve this part. So now I'm figuring out new affirmations on things I want to get better at in my life. And I've already seen a huge, just huge improvement in a lot of the reading I do, because there's so many books. Everyone has so many books they want to read. And so I see Mindsync as something so integral to my life and where I want to go in my life.